Oh, well, my name's Fox, not Totally, and I'm Fox, and I finished watching the movie, The Sea Beast, which, this is the kind of movie I learned, wait, what does that say? From the award-winning filmmaker behind Moana. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. See, Moana and Big Hero 6. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because I was watching this movie, and this is the kind of thing, like, you see, like, if you ever watch Anastasia before Disney bought Fox, you would think, oh, this is a Disney movie. And it's like, no, it actually isn't. It's just made by the same people who used to work for Disney. Which, this movie, from, like, some of the character designs, to the look, to, like, even, like, some stuff, like, it feels like, okay, this kind of looks like a Disney movie. But then you also have things like really good curses in it. Okay, this movie, I only heard about this movie, and, like, literally I was recording an unboxing video, which you'll probably have seen before this one, and, like, I had to basically stop recording that one because my camera messed up, I lost the footage, I was going to record it again, but I had to set my thing to charge, so I was like, alright, I got time to kill before the batteries charge, let me watch something. I'm like, I've heard about this Sea Beast thing from Twitter, I heard it's good, and, like, I'm like, alright, why not? And I watched it. And mind you, I kind of, like, someone put, like, a picture of what Sea Beast is. They show, like, Red, the main kaiju, the main giant monster. And they put her but with, like, the face of Toothless. And I'm like, so it's like, how does this? And, like, as soon as I started watching this, I kind of, if you've seen any story similar to this, you're probably going to get the idea a little bit quickly. Like, okay, this world is filled with this job called hunters, which are all these pirate guys, which I already love the setting because I love pirates. These pirate guys. This is the main pirate where he's like, he has some kind of vendetta against the beasts, as they're called. Usually, what is it? It's like the Moby Dick kind of thing. They're hunting they hunt monsters. They're the best of the best, killing all these monsters, these beasts, these sea creatures that come out of the ground, like classic sea creature stuff. But, they had to kill that one. There's that one, like, big one, the Night Fury of this version, where instead of it being, a super fast, speedy creature, this is the mother of all of these, or, well, I don't know, mother of all, but the giant beast. Like, the biggest beast of them all. Which, and, like, you mean, like, okay, spoilers for this movie, though. Go spoilers for the movie, but again, I'll say this right now, I love this movie. Go see this movie before I spoil it, alright? Okay. You find out the hunters probably aren't really on the winning or good side. Which, they do change that a bit. Really, it's not like the hunters or the beasts are the bad guys. It's more along the lines of the rich who will then manipulate the poor to do stuff, saying, oh yeah, you have to do this because those things attacked us. Yes. And we're going to spread as much lies as we can to all of you people so you believe us. And basically these two, Jacob is like the main, Jacob's like almost the son of the main, most famous captain ever. It starts out like a Will Turner kind of thing. But he's like the stepson of this main captain, of Captain Crow. Which I really do like they show all of these hunters and everything with like very dark, muted colors. But then you have the creatures are like freaking vibrant as all hell colors. To the point where she starts naming them after these colors that they have. Which, this movie, it's really beautiful to look at. This movie's really beautiful to look at, and like the designs are really good for like the monsters, like this crab thing.
That's not the same thing.
Isn't it?
No, it isn't. The Drakemoor's thick with monsters. Monsters don't
The Drakemoor is what they call like the ocean or sea.
want to eat us. We're not keeping it.
But he's so cute.
Also, this creature, like, This reminds me of this one. It reminds me of this guy. Like that looks kind of similar, right? Like the eyes and everything. Like I feel like maybe there might have been some Digimon fans on this crew, but it basically I kind of got okay. They basically like after the hunters are tasked with a challenge after they bring in their latest haul, which is like the horns of all these beasts, which they're just straight killing. They're not even like using them for like food or anything like that. They just like it's just straight kill these monsters. After they bring in their latest haul, the king and queen say, you know what? We're not going to pay you hunters anymore. We just invested a shit ton of money on this giant ship, this giant like frigate. I think it's a frigate. That'll kill all the monsters. That'll definitely kill all the monsters because the most heavily weighted monsters. And the Captain Crow, he straight says like. He's really like, one, that ship is sitting too low on the boat. And also, all your guns point in one direction and do not move. These things go underwater. You're not gonna hit shit. And yeah, that entire ship doesn't even have a chance when it does meet Red, who is the kind of the toothless, the big ass monster for this one. They haven't even showed her in this here it is. Yeah, Red. Yeah, you can kind of tell there's a little bit of toothless influence here. But when she just destroys this thing, just hits through it with her horn, kind of amazing. And I'm like, all right. And I kind of got, okay, yeah, they're going to find out the beasts aren't really all that evil. And, like, I did not expect the part where, like, you know, the book that this girl's been reading, she's like, this book is full of lies. And, like, even, like, Jacob looks at it, it's like, yeah, this shit's full of lies. What the hell? Like, who the hell's writing this shit? And it turns out it's the royals and stuff. But then also, like, they even have, like, kaiju. There's like kaiju fight at one point with this thing where it's Red versus this thing. I'm like, holy shit, it's a kaiju fight. Just the size of the creatures, the designs of it. Like, there's like really you only see like 4 or 5 different creatures. You see Red, which is this big girl right here, which also she has mascara on. Red, the big girl right here. Then you have Blue, which I love the names because they're so goddamn easy to remember. I call this one Purple because it's purple. Like all of them, each of the monsters they meet have like a certain design to them or a certain color. These are yellow. Look at that. It's like a walrus styled. It's freaking great. And there's also a green one right here. You kind of see it. Which I'll say this right now. Red is apparently the strongest one. I guess it makes sense that that she doesn't have any like armor or like scales or spikes on her. Because the idea of like a creature with spikes is there is something bigger that's been eating them, so the spikes are to keep them off. Though, that being said, I guess like especially because after like there's a really good Godzilla book. Or I don't know Godzilla book, but it was cool, like I'm not sure what it is. I forgot if it was a book or not, but like I know they talked about it, like the different kaiju. It was like Godzilla Earth movies. There was apparently a book, and like they apparently talked about the different ways that each kaiju kind of, or maybe it was Godzilla Wiki, the YouTube channel. I can't remember, but they talked about like the different kaiju's, like like Zilla from like the 1999 Godzilla movie. That one doesn't rely on fire breath, but it relies more on reproducing, creating more kids that then destroy things and then move on and then do the same thing to take over. And like, you know, like the different ways that they fight and like stuff like that. Like, I guess Red here is just so powerful that she doesn't need any biological armor. that she's just pure muscle and strength, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, because I when I saw Red, especially after you see like this creature, this thing, because this thing is armored to the teeth, where you see like the different platings. But yeah, I guess Red is just that powerful. But yeah, like this movie's fun. Like the designs, even to like the ship designs, which I'm taking inspiration from a lot of this. But like the ship designs are really good. The ship design, I should say, because there's like one other ship that we see, maybe two, but like how they make it like the carving also on it to make it look like this looks freaking badass. The CGI for this, obviously, but this looks badass. Like the sea monster kind of face, the horn coming out of it. The designs are really good, and the characters are really awesome too. Where Macy, I think her name's Macy, she's an orphan who escapes like the orphanage that she lives in, which I love when the kids wave her goodbye, because also she's the biggest fan of Captain Crow and his crew from like books and stuff written about him. But Macy like stows away, and you know it's the whole like she's a character like, oh, is she gonna get annoying? And I'm like, oh no, she's not. She's actually a really good and fun character. Then you have Jacob, who's like the hardened, like, you know, this has been my entire life thing. But, you know, him and Macy slowly learn that, or it takes him longer, but Macy slowly learns that maybe these creatures aren't as evil as we thought. And then it takes him way longer to figure that out, but, you know.
Keeping it.
But he's so cute.
You and I have a different idea of cute.
Oh no, that scene's way funnier in the movie, because it's not that long distance that he says that. You and I have a different idea of cute. He then grabs the sucker and chucks it into the forest. He chucks that thing like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, oh my god. And then also like here, it's really funny because I'm like, this kind of reminds me of Alien. And when she kind of when he picks her up out of there and makes way through, he's like, you don't know how this place is. For all you know, like these creatures, the eggs will hatch and they'll put more eggs in your stomach and then they'll burst out of your chest. And she goes, that's very specific. Like, yeah, well, I've seen a lot of things. I'm like, you've seen the movie Alien. That's what you've seen. Like there's even like Godzilla reference at one point where when Red sticks her head over like a hill once, like the first time you see Godzilla. There's Jaws a little bit with like the horn in the water. There's oh wait, hold on. I think. Oh yeah, look. This is the other one. Like this is like almost like a classic Sea Serpent look.
We got it right where we want it.
Wait, Jacob.
That one.
I love the hand raise. Like, stop, please.
She'll be the death of me. I swore I would do everything.
And here's the thing. I love How to Train Your Dragon. I love dragons in general. But I don't know. I think I might like this series a little. I like this movie a little bit more than How to Train Your Dragon, because I like, first off, the size of these guys. I love the goddamn size of these giant kaiju-esque monsters. I love giant monsters, especially big, colorful ones. Like when that fight with Red versus Purple happens, the crab. Like, it is like, I was like, oh my god, I love this movie. Like, I'm like, hell yeah, giant monster fight. Just the size of the creatures are so freaking good. And mind you, I think it's more like just giant creatures too. Like, if it's like giant, here's the fight. If it's just like giant, like robots, like, no, giant robots I like, but if it's just giant people, it's like, eh. But giant monsters, like, hell yeah, look at that.
I've always wanted a pet.
That's not a pet.
But I already named it.
Let me guess. Blue.
Aww.
In select theaters? Oh, I could have saw this in theaters? Oh, man. I actually, man, if it's in its own But yeah, the character designs are really good. Like, this looks very, like now, like, the best way I could describe this movie, because if I remember correctly, didn't DreamWorks also get created from, like, animators from Disney? Because this definitely feels like kind of like, this, like, the style and everything kind of reminds you a bit of, like, a love between DreamWorks and Disney movie, which makes sense. Again, Moana and all that stuff with the creators of this, but, like, this feels like a Disney movie, but also with a bit of, like, DreamWorks in there, where, like, it's a little bit more risky. Like, I'm trying to, let me go to my notes real quick. Let's see. Giant water monsters. Love that. I love the ocean, FYI. Like, I know Markiplier is scared of the ocean. I love the ocean. So, like, I used to be scared of it a long time ago. I don't know. I guess I got over it, or I just really love the ocean. I love the ocean. Especially also because you can have giant monsters in the ocean. Let's see. Giant water monsters. Doesn't believe she won't escape. Okay. Oh, yeah. When the girl tries to leave the orphanage, they're leaving. This is very multiple times. What they say is, bye, we'll miss you, see you tomorrow. I'm like, that's great. Okay, so this is looking water, this is looking like How to Train Your Dragon. Water, How to Train Your Dragon. Raises hand to stop it. That's what I just showed. Will Turner, Jacob. Yeah, because they find him after a ship is destroyed and he's kind of just on, like, a piece of driftwood. I don't know if, because, like, she apparently comes from a long line of Monster Hunters too, and, like, this whole thing is, like, there's been a war with these creatures going on for, like, generations on generations. And like, that's, like, the whole lie, like, oh, yeah, the monster started first. And, like, I don't think we even know who started this. I think you guys just wanted to kill these things. Which, honestly, I still could believe probably some of these monsters did attack people. But also, I could definitely believe people just going, I don't trust the giant monster, I'm gonna kill it, and then just make a whole hate campaign against it. The characters are also really trying, like, Jacob at one point, where, like, she's geeking out about him. Jacob goes, like, or she goes, so is it true that you killed 4 monsters in 2 days? He's like, it was 5. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That is horrifying. Crow. Oh yeah. And, like, the Crow and Jacob stuff is, like, really good since Crow sees Jacob as his son. And, like, he straight tells him, like, look, when I die, or after we kill the big, I think it's the Bluster, after we kill the Bluster, which is what they call Red, the ship is yours. The ship is yours. This is your legacy. And all this stuff, like, my grandfather gave it to my father gave it to me, and when I found you drifting on that piece of wood, I knew that you, like, that the sea had bestowed upon me a son, and I'm like, that's badass. There's also a bit that I do like. You do see, like, another bit where, like, right here where they're, oh yeah.
But you joined the ship when you were my age.
It's around, like, this part where he goes, like, we're going to get off this island because Red... Let me just check this real quick. Yeah. Red kind of tells him, hey, not Red tells, like, Red brings them to this island, I guess, just to rest, because basically the girl saves Red from almost dying or getting killed by Captain Crow. Oh wait, did I even say what the whole reason a lot of this happens is the King Queen said, we're gonna stop paying hunters, because we're gonna invest in this giant ship. And I actually do like the dialogue there, because the Captain Crow gives a whole explanation like, your ship is too low in this ocean, those cannons ain't gonna hit anything, and the captain is an ass. I'm like, he straight says that too. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, hell yeah. I like this dialogue. But basically, it looks like they might capture Red, which, like, almost pulls him into, like, a water hurricane, not hurricane, whirlpool. But look at it happen. She cuts the rope, and basically Jacob and her get flung over. They land in a dinghy. Crow is pissed because he's like, you just let it get away. Which also, there's a point where they're floating underwater and you just see Red look at them. and then just slowly sink back into the darkness. And I'm like, no offense, that is kind of freaking terrifying. But it's under the size. The size is, oh my god. But they get in the dinghy. Crow's like, give me the girl. He's like, what are you gonna do with it? Like, give me the girl. Jacob pulls a gun out on him, and the giant creature comes up, and it looks like it eats Jacob, her, in the dinghy. And I like the reaction immediately. Crow's like, my son, like, Jacob, like, and he's mourning Jacob through this movie. To a point where he goes and makes like a deal with a witch, which I would say is random, but also like, here's the thing: if you want like a classic Disney movie, I say this is definitely it. Where like, there's not, like, here's the thing. I think the only joke that I ever made me go, that was the stupidest joke you probably could have made. And it's so dated. And she's like, what? Funny enough, wasn't Moana, where Maui goes, if you write on an oar with a bird, it's called a tweet. And I'm like, that is the stupidest thing you could have said. This one, like that alien reference, is a really good joke and reference. You like, even if you don't know, it's like, okay, that's like, wow, that stuff happens on the ocean. If you do know, you're like, ha, alien. But like again, like not everything has to be explained either. Like, it's kind of like the Shadow Man. We don't need to know how he got his magical powers from the voodoo creatures. Same thing with like this, like we find out like these pirates have an honor, a code, hunters have a code, but then like there's a witch that can like make poison, and like this weapon that she calls the Hand of God that can inject the poison to kill. And like, it's like hunters don't go there because it's unhonorable. But the captain goes, I don't care, I'm gonna do this. And I'd say it because he just wants this creature dead, especially because he thinks it ate his son. But then we obviously find out, no, that's not the case. But, and like, it does make you worry. It's almost like at one point where, like, it does kind of show like the monsters, although they are like not necessarily evil, like you do see that this war has taken a toll on both humans and monsters. Where like when she goes into rage mode at one point to kill this one ship and then try to kill this one ship, she accidentally hits Macy and knocks her down, and like she starts bleeding out, like I don't know, from her back or head or somewhere, where they have to give her a blood transfusion, which these are very advanced pirates, but whatever. They got to give her a blood transfusion. I'm like, that's interesting. And it's like, it's the idea of like the war's corrupting and everything like that. This movie has a really good message of like, you know, try to learn for yourself. Think about it for yourself. Don't just follow blindly what other people say. Mind you, though, like I'm trying to think of a good way, because like there's some things like obviously global warming. Pay attention to that shit. And also like, I'll say this as a difference. Global warming, like if like let's say you don't believe in global warming, just think of it this way. Only thing you have to lose trying to prevent global warming, whether real or not, is all of the Earth. Like worst case scenario, if you ignore global warming, the world dies. The worst case scenario, if you don't ignore global warming and you try to like make the world greener, we probably have better energy sources, less toxic fumes, because I live in Texas and I literally have a weather warning of toxic air. But like you have like the worst case scenario, if you pay attention and you try to do stuff with global warming, try to make things green and hold companies that really do most of the like 99% of the pollution responsible, you have a cleaner Earth. You have less like toxic things going on. Hell, you might have better things with like, having more electrical things, wind power, water power, stuff like that. You have better, yeah, like it's, I don't know, like, it's like, weigh the pros and cons. Is it really like you want to, like, you're like, oh no, like they're just doing this to tax me? But even if it's not true, you still have way better like future in the end. Where the other one, you're running on a limited resource of fuel. I'm basically bringing this up in a sense of people are going to lie for their own interests. Mostly it's going to be rich people. Lie for their own interests to make you and the poor people do what they say, whether it makes them hate other people or whatever. And yeah, like this girl has a really good speech at the end about that too. But yeah, this movie's great. This movie's honestly really, really great. Let me check my notes real quick. One more. Oh yeah, like the different creatures. Red, obviously. Blue is that little creature. Green is that sea monster, like marmored one. Yellow is that walrus thing. Purple is the crab, and there's pink, which are just like these jellyfish that are underwater. Which there's even a really good scene where, because they can go inside like red and like see, like she like has like these nose flaps inside so that water doesn't get in. Because honestly, I was way more surprised when Red got out of the water and started moving. I'm like, oh shit, they can actually go on land. I didn't know that. But so I guess really like amphibious, I guess. Or more like whales, I guess. Yeah, because I guess definitely see designed after a whale. And also Godzilla is like named, like Gojira is like gorilla whale. So I wouldn't be surprised that she is very much taking inspiration, obviously, from Toothless a little bit, but also Godzilla, when she's in Godzilla references, so you know. But like she has like these flaps, which I believe actual animals have, where like it covers over the nose. That way no water gets into their nose when they're doing it. And like the humans, Jacob and Macy, can get inside there and like, you know, ride when they go underwater, and you see the ground, you just see like the ocean floor just covered in destroyed ships and beast of bones, and it's just like, wow. Also, I really do like that they really use like spears and or lances throughout this whole thing. Like they only really use cutlasses at the very end, which I'm not saying I don't like a good sword. I love swords. I don't know if you see Excalibur right there, but I was like, interesting. Like, you guys are using spears. That's actually kind of cool. Because, like, apparently back in, like, those times, well, kind of those times, spears were really, like, the assault rifle of the day, and swords were really, like, the handguns, even though I still love a hero wielding a sword over that. But still, it's really badass. This movie is, like, it's really cool. But, the only thing that I kind of don't agree with, I guess, is, like at the end when they win or whatever, and, like, Macy's living on the beach or whatever, they're like, whatever mysteries are out there beyond the ocean, we're just gonna leave that over there and never try to visit over there. And I'm like, and also no one else ever goes back into the ocean again. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, no, like mind you, like I prefer, you know, a symbiotic relationship, I guess, but like I don't really like the message of, leave that shit over there. We're not gonna go see what the fuck. Like, no, I would be the Avengers now. I would be like, what do you mean no one's going? No one's going out there? Yeah, motherfucker. You know I'm going out there. You kidding me? I want to find new shit. Like, I would love to explore a giant world like this full of different monsters. I would pull a hiccup and start categorizing these guys. Like, hell yeah. Like, even like, Jacob says, like, I only kill them. I don't study them. Also, I do like when they're inside of Red, like they're inside the mouth at first, and like they like Pinocchio, and they kind of go like around the back of the throat to up through to the nostril. I'm like, that's kind of cool. But yeah, this movie's great. This movie's fun. It'd be like a cool animated kaiju pirate movie. This is a really going on. It's giving me a shit ton of like inspiration for things. For Owl Wolf Town. Well, there's already a thing with the Wizard Kaiju War, which I already had a lot of stuff planned, but I also, like, there's a lot of the world I haven't fleshed. Well, I fleshed a lot of it out, but there's some things I want to keep going with, and I kind of think this is giving me inspiration for a little bit more. But, yeah, the movie also looks really good, too. But, yeah, this movie's great. Also, Jacob just saving a shit ton of people in the opening scene is really good. But, yeah, if you want a good pirate kaiju movie, it is really good. Like, this is like top DreamWorks style of it. And it's not made by DreamWorks, I'm pretty sure. So, like, it's a really good-ass movie. Go check it out. But thank you for watching. Which videos I've done. Links are on my face. Subscription buttons are on there. So, subscribe videos. I'm going to be gone for a few weeks. So, just enjoy, I might make some, like, videos on my phone, but I'm going to be gone for, like, till, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. So, just a little heads up. But thank you for watching. For your videos, go check this movie out. It is really good. Honestly, it's giving me good inspiration for a lot of stuff. I love giant ocean creatures. Probably one of the reasons I really love Godzilla. Yeah, this movie's just great. Tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching for your videos. And I just love giant kaijus and monsters and stuff. And this is a good-ass movie. We will see you later. So will King eventually become a Titan / kaiju in Owl House?